Now, while the markets have had a rough ride in 2022, my next guest says if you're a stock picker, this may be your year. It's a great time to scoop up some high-quality names at attractive prices. Joining me now is Abhay Deshpande. He's Chief Investment Officer at Centerstone. And Abhay, when I see you, I'm reminded of all those kind of real versus Reddit segments we did the last couple of years. And you were always saying these valuations made no sense. So you were right.
Well, I don't know that I was the only one saying that. It was kind of obvious, but yeah, that era is past, thankfully, and now we're into a new era. It looks like I don't know that there's no more downside. I'm not going to make any predictions like that. But what the last couple of years has helped to do, though, especially last year, is help to bring prices down of reasonably kind of or good companies, right, back down to reasonable prices. And that's allowed us, value investors, at Centerstone, we're value investors, to kind of spread out the portfolio a little bit more to have better quality companies, more so than we had for a few years before that. So environments like last year, those are, you don't know it, but you're making your money last year, in companies that you're able to buy that you can hold on to. And a lot of times those types of companies, I don't really have to do too much thinking about them. The management teams, the reason they're franchises, the management teams are good, the businesses are stable or able to grow, and it just takes a lot of the guesswork out of it.
No, and it's fascinating because when you lay out that case, I go, okay, I bet he's going to go to kind of like, boring but strong large caps, maybe. And yet the names that you have here are, to me, are truly provocative. I mean, we're talking about, Tencent and Porsche and Ryanair, even Ross Stores. There's a lot of international names here. A lot of people are concerned that you can even hold positions like that for a long time. I mean, connect the dots for me, how you get from this is a year for stock picking to those kinds of stocks.
Yeah, I mean, the common element there is, I think, reasonable prices for what are franchises. Franchises meaning that they're solid market positions with plenty of growth opportunities. And if you look at all of them, they occupy parts of their their niche occupies a market that is itself growing, and they have a low cost or low price, some sort of value that they can add to or offer to the client that they're looking for. So, Ryanair has the lowest costs for air transportation in Europe. Ross Stores is like a TJ Maxx. That industry is growing and continues to grow during this weakness or recession, whatever you want to call it. And on and on. The Chinese companies, we started, I've never owned any Chinese stocks until the fall. And for many of the reasons I think everyone is well aware of. But I bought several of them around the time of the Communist Party meeting to reappoint Xi. The stock market had completely given up because of that. And some of these stocks were already kind of cheap before. And they got to points where some of them are trading at 5-6 times earnings, and these are companies that have dominant positions, like Tencent does in its core categories. Yeah. Now, a lot of these stocks have already rebounded. Tencent's almost doubled from the bottom, right? So, but there's still a value case to be to make there. You have good, solid businesses. Now you have the valuations corrected, but now you have with China opening up. Obviously, there's going to be a transition period over the next few months as they get through this wave of COVID. But yeah, there's so much demand just waiting to get unleashed on the world and domestically as well. So you have an earnings story there that's probably pretty long-lived in nature. In Europe, people are very much focused on the obvious things, energy and that kind of stuff. But there are plenty of opportunities there where multinationals like a Porsche, what have you, can manage all that.
No, it's fascinating.
And meanwhile, they trade at good prices.